Warning, this week never happened.
Big Brother TV pod for BB19 Week 6 recap. I am your host, Big Brother historian and superfan Luke Labagnera, coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut. With me, my fellow co-hosts, Dom Greco, coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut, and Jacob Salazar, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California.
Coming to you dead.
Coming to you dead. Los Angeles. So yes, as Jacob pointed out, coming to you dead but alive from Los Angeles, California.
Undead?
Mm-hmm. You are dead. So, going into this week of Big Brother Boys, like Dom said before we went on the air, this week had never happened, and here's why. Going into the episode, there was a but first where Julie Chen covered the week inside the Big Brother house, leading up to the live special eviction of the house guests keeping in the dark of the final temptation of the summer, the revolting, halting hex. Julie enters the living room. We are live. Each in a second. Julie says to Jessica and Cody, aka Jody, house guests, Jessica and Cody, in just a few moments, your housemates will cast their votes to evict live, but you each have one final chance to plea your case. Jessica, you first. Unexpectedly, up and says, well, house guests, all of you have been speculating all week. I'm wondering what my temptation is, and I am going to unleash the halting hex. You don't have to say it with me, but if we could do it in a chorus, you don't have to, but we all know the famous line. Halting hex rise, eviction night dies. And with that, the house went into a vibration of black lighting, and the halting hex stopped this live eviction.
I don't know how the guy doing the voice of the halting hex rise, eviction night dies, didn't, crack up in the middle of doing it, because it sounded like he was getting more ridiculous as he went on. And
That's because this was his 83rd take.
It didn't sound like it was a recording, though. It sounded like he was actually doing it live. And,
It was live or pre-recorded, Jacob just...
It very well could have been pre-recorded, but it sounded live.
If it was live, there's too many problems that happen with when this stuff goes live. Just like when Julie Chen is on the screen, that's not really her. She is really there talking to the house guest, but what we see on there, that is pre-recorded.
Inside the house, that pre-recording of the halting hex unleashing.
Yeah. Well, other than on live nights. On live nights, it's not pre-recorded, but...
Right. So as we know, the halting hex was unleashed and nobody was evicted from the Big Brother house. Cody and Jessica were safe. So without skipping a beat, we skipped the live eviction and we went directly into the next HOH competition where Paul, as outgoing HOH, was not eligible to compete. But I kind of liked the theme they were giving it, of a deadly theme. They were in a cemetery graveyard and there were numbers lined up, and whoever came close with the highest number would be the next HOH.
I hate this competition when they do this.
Why?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this competition either. But just to keep in mind, the different range of challenges they have, mental competitions. They have physical competitions. Then they have competitions like this that are completely and utterly luck-based. There's no skill involved in this. This is 100% luck. So I think it rounds it out nicely.
And it's boring to watch.
Well, yeah, it's definitely boring to watch, but the complete randomness of it is what kind of intrigues you of, and it takes out the factor of, this competition is rigged. This right here proves that the game is not, some people could be like, oh, this whole thing is staged, which aspects of it very well might be. We will never know that for sure. And I can almost guarantee you certain parts are. Competitions like this can't be staged.
No. There are I like it because of that, but again, it's boring to watch, and like literally, there's no skill involved whatsoever. You could like the wind could be blowing
Yeah.
in whatever way it wants to blow that day, and that could change the entire game.
Yeah.
And I don't like when the fate of the game lies within the wind's hand or like whatever else, or the ground was shaking, I don't know. But like all those excuses that you use in basketball, you can use them here because those do apply. And I don't know, it's just like when you have Josh celebrating because, you know, he's the one who fucking wins this damn thing, but you have him celebrating inside the house, it's like, bitch, you rolled a ball into a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he came close next to Cody because Cody was that close to being in the lead and winning this next HOH, which I wouldn't have been happy about because I can't stand the sociopath. He pisses me off, him and his bitch. Oh my god, actually, no,
I
I
love these two.
There was one time where my DVR messed up and I had to watch the episode of Big Brother Online. So I started the episode up and Julie's doing a recap, and before she mentions any of the contestants' names, she said something about "and Jody," and I'm like, wait a second, am I watching the wrong season of Big Brother? I wasn't thinking of it as a couple's name, I was thinking of an actual person named Jody. Like, it threw me off for a second, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Right.
But yeah.
No, but what came in there was going into the next section of the competition. As we know, and as Jacob just pointed out, congratulations, Josh. You are the new head of household for the week. So he went into this big power mode celebration. So Jody went from this high-ranking power back down to 0.
They were never high ranking. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they had the highest power in the house one week, and then they went back down to 0.
But they were not in power at all. You can have power, but not be in a position of power, and that's the problem. That was their entire problem. Is even if you did use this hex, which they did, and it saved them this time, you don't have numbers, you don't have connections, and unless you win HOH or like any of these other competitions, then you're back to square one. And you know that's what happened in this HOH, which honestly I think it would have been interesting if Cody or Jessica would have won, because then we would have had like, you know, at least something happen in this game. Because like seriously, anybody else who wins the HOH, if it's not Paul, Jessica, or Cody, this is fucking boring. Because Paul is controlling the entire house that isn't Jessica or Cody, and they're all just going along with it, and it's fucking stupid, and it's not.
And it makes me upset. A lot of fans of Paul from last year are turning out to hate him this year.
I don't hate Paul
on social media.
Yeah, and it's because Paul, last time around in the house, was super fun. You know, he was just hanging out and just doing whatever. This time, he's trying to be like the next big, you know, the next Dan. You know.
Well, nobody could ever be Dan.
No, I know. I'm saying the next Dan, not replacing Dan.
Dan Giesling.
Yes.
Well, Dan played.
Well, I'm not that big of a fan of, actually.
But here's the thing: like on Dan's first season, he was on Big Brother 10, and that was his winning season. On his second season, on season 14, a lot of his fans started to not hate him but dislike him because he started playing a dirty game, and he blindsided a lot of people that season. Now he made it to Final 2, but he didn't win that season. He lost to Ian Terry.
Yeah. Well, it's because every time you go in with different expectations. Because like the first time you don't have expectations, and you're just playing the game because you don't know how to play it. Now that you know you have some history, you know kind of some patterns and stuff that the game falls in. You think you know the game better than everyone else, which, to a degree, you do. But at the same time, you don't. You know, because you're just as surprised as everybody as everything else. So he thinks, you know, he can control the house because everybody's willing to listen to him. Yes, that is the case. Yes, it is going to get him far, but it's also going to bite him in the ass when the house realizes this, which they're inevitably going to do at some point, and flip on.
They're all stupid and they won't. But
they will, but it may be too late.
It's understandable, but right now we have two completely different alliances in the house right now, all against one another. It's Jessica and Cody versus the rest of the house because
if you go back and look at season 8, it was Evil Dick and Danielle Donato versus the house.
Right.
And they ran that house, and they went back and forth for a couple weeks in a row where they alternated winning head of household.
Right,
You know?
and they were a father-daughter duo. They went from being estranged father and daughter to a duo in the house, and they made it the final two.
Right, so just because Jess and Cody have no one else in the house doesn't mean they're going to lose. You know, they can still win. It's going to take work. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle, but they can do it. They can come in first and second place. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, Dom, no offense, but I really do not want to see that happen. That would not be a
Oh,
happy...
I would love to see that happen because these are the only two interesting people on this show right now.
I agree.
They are.
Okay? Raven, who are you? I don't know.
Exactly. Like, here's the thing, though. I don't like Cody's sociopathic attitude. He's got no heart. He's got no feeling. He's got no emotion. He's just...
And let me stop you right there because, yes, he clearly does because he actually showed some this week.
Well, because him and his bitch were in trouble. That's why.
Okay, and stop calling her a bitch because I'm defending her now because I like her. Now, I didn't a couple of weeks ago. I am talking now. Shut up. Yes, bitch. I said that.
Yeah, okay, bitch.
Okay. We're all friends, you guys. We're all friends. I think I didn't like these two, first week going in. I didn't like really anybody in this season because, that's just how it goes. Everybody just seems a bit too, showy for me. And then, it takes me a couple of weeks to actually start, honing in on somebody who I actually start liking.
Well, because I think the reason for that, though, Jake, is because everybody tries to portray them as somebody else, something else going into the house. And as they go in the house and they realize that this persona that they have to put on is 24 hours, 7 days a week, it starts breaking them down, and you start seeing the real person.
Well, yeah, these people are literally going crazy in this damn house. But I like these two because they are playing their own game. And Cody, whether or not he is a sociopath or not, I honestly don't know. He clearly has... I care about Cody more so than I care about anybody else because Cody has motivations. And he cares about things. He cares about Jessica, clearly, if that's the only thing he does care about. And I like Jessica because she has the passion, she has the drive to take control of her own damn game and not let anybody else dictate what she has to do. And even when it's her own alliance member, and really her only alliance member, and on top of that, her boyfriend, kind of, when he's bringing her game down, she's like, I'm not having any of this shit, and I like how Jessica's able to separate game Cody from real life Cody. But when game Cody is acting a certain way, she goes and questions him directly, is this how you act in real life? And he says, sometimes yes, and she's not having it. She says, I don't want a relationship with you in this house or outside of this house if that's the way you're going to act. Because it's ruining the game, and honestly, it's not looking good on you, and it doesn't look good on me, and we're not doing anything for each other. So until you can, clean up your act, and we both have a mutually beneficial relationship, then we can talk.
Yeah.
So that's why I like those two now.
Yeah, so you know something? Okay, I take back what I said about Jessica. I didn't mean to say that it just came out. It's Cody. Cody is the one.
Yeah, no, I know. You hate Cody, and you hate everything associated with Cody, so Jess takes... blame just by association. I get it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like Jacob just pointed out, that's one good quality I like about Jessica. She had the guts to stand up to him because she didn't like the way he was acting. Because if you've seen on the show, he got in Paul's face because he got angry naturally because Paul nominated them, and he got defensive about it, which I don't blame him for that. But he had that hothead persona, and he was getting all hothead with Paul. And Jessica's like, okay, you know something? You've crossed the line there, and I'm not having that. I have a respected job outside of this house, and I have respect for the public. I can't have that if you're going to be that way. I can't. I can't have that in my life.
There's only 4 people that I care about in this house. Jess, Cody, Paul, and Kevin.
I like Kevin.
Kevin's just awesome.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's the father. He's like the father of all the house guests.
He might as well be the father of all the house guests, to add to your collection of 132 kids.
Any of those 4 that win the game, I'd be happy with, to be completely honest. I would be happy with any of those 4 winning the game. Paul, because he manipulated all these fanboy people, whatever, into whatever. That it was easy for him, whatever, but, it's still impressive. regardless
It is.
how you look at it, whether you like him or you hate him. It's impressive that he is able to manipulate as many people as he is into doing everything that he wants to do. And then you have Cody and Jess, who are just the underdogs. And I don't know about you guys, but I love rooting for underdogs. I love the whole underdog story coming back.
I mean,
like,
doesn't everybody?
anybody who's ever gotten into like watching wrestling, the whole formula of wrestling is you have two people in the ring. You have the good guy and the bad guy usually, right? And then you have the good guy gets beaten down by the bad guy, and beaten down and beaten down and beaten down, and then he makes the comeback and he defeats the bad guy, and wins the match. It's the same thing, that format is used in superhero things and everything like that. Everybody just loves seeing the underdog come up and win. So Jess and Cody are that underdog right now. So I'm rooting for them in that regard. And Kevin's my wild card pick, just because Kevin is awesome. I love everything that Kevin does. His little antics, like wrapping his stomach in saran wrap before he goes to bed, is absolutely...
I don't think that's safe.
It's not. Because it keeps sweat and moisture and stuff into your body, too. Like, no, it's bad. It's completely bad. But it was hysterical. It made for a really funny moment. So it's things like that. And then just watching Kevin in the background complaining when, like, after this eviction went through, before they do the thing, he's like, I can't go out there and compete in this. And that's all you hear. I gotta go change. No, I gotta change. Like, he doesn't realize not every competition is like a physical run across the thing. If it was a physical competition, they would have had them change before the eviction.
Yeah, well, he's not a fan of the show, obviously.
Yeah, no, I know.
Which kind of pisses me off. Like, I don't like recruits on this show.
Well,
I mean, like, I will eventually grow to love them if they're great, but, like, I generally just don't like recruits, because that's a spot that could easily go to somebody who actually wants to be on the show and could potentially even win the show. I don't see Kevin winning. I think he's a great personality to have on the show, and like he's a good energy, and of course he's hilarious and he's great TV, which we need that, but like I just don't think he's going to win.
I don't necessarily know if he was like a recruit, so to say, of like Big Brother went around looking for him. It could have just been like a bunch of his friends being like, hey, I think you'd be good for this show, go try out,
Well, there's that, but like then again, yeah, there are things that Big Brother fans, or at least casual Big Brother fans, should know.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't watch last season, you still know Nicole won.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a casual Big Brother fan, yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I could potentially see Cody, Jessica, or Paul, or Kevin going to the end. I really could see that, at least in the final 5 or the final 4, because I think the more you're pushed into being the public target, number 1 or number 2, the more harder you keep pushing yourself to get further, to keep yourself safe if you're a target.
Well, that's all you can do.
Makes sense. Yeah, if that makes sense.
If like Mark, Matt, Elena, Jason, or Raven won this game, I'd be furious. Absolutely furious.
I mean, Dom, I remember last season, like we said last season on our finale night, you were furious when Nicole won, and you thought it was unfair because she floated her way through the game and she had Corey to back her up, and then she lost to Paul, who worked his ass off all season to get to the end.
Well, that's not satisfying. Is the problem,
right?
And that's just somehow.
But unfortunately, it happens sometimes.
I mean, there are winners on this show who, like, I never wanted them on the show in the first place.
Like, tell me, give some examples. Like, Jacob, last year, were you happy Nicole won, or did you have the same opinion as Dom?
No, I was not happy that Nicole won. I was not happy when Steve won. I was not happy when, what's the bitch's name? Andy won 15. I love Rachel. Those are, like, recently I haven't been liking the winners.
Like Andy, like what didn't you like about
Andy? I liked
Andy?
Ian. I think Ian was a good winner.
Ian was a good winner, but like after Ian,
yeah,
it's just been like whatever.
What about Derek Levasseur? I think he won.
Oh no, fuck.
Actually,
fuck
I like Derek. I think he deserved that, to be honest.
Derek is a great player. The problem I have with Derek is that it was too easy for him, because this cast, the 16 cast in general, was so underwhelming.
Yeah.
and not full of a lot of players.
It's kind of like this season with
Yeah,
Paul.
exactly.
Derek is Paul.
There was
this season.
no Cody or Jessica in 16
Well, yes, right.
to combat with Derek. And I say this all the time on like Big Brother or Survivor. There are winners of a certain season who would be first out in another season.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I think Paul deserves a chance or have a turn to take the walk, and you know what I mean by the walk.
Yep.
Not the finale walk out the front door and either to the jury house or home.
Yeah. How many people are we away from jury right now?
One. This is the last non-jury eviction, I believe.
Okay.
This Thursday.
So
The very last.
they should be factoring that into, their picks or Meatball.
Well, now
should be
they
anyway.
have to start. Well, yeah, but like some people
Because
don't realize that jury's a part of the game.
Yeah, no, I know, but Paul does.
He knows. Paul knows for sure, and like I think that's why he's making these relationships and why like he has the whole house backing him up. So like he's set unless he does something like to piss somebody
Kind of.
off. That
I mean,
he can piss off.
Christmas
Jessica
is not really on his side. Christmas is just kind of using him.
No, but like I think Christmas. I still don't think Christmas has. She's definitely against Paul, but she's not like actively against Paul.
Right. Yeah.
Like
No,
there's
that's
a
right.
difference between wanting to get somebody out and like actively trying to get somebody out. If she wants Paul out, she needs a plan, and I don't think she has one.
No, she doesn't have one. She's not going to be the one to put Paul out, but I think if Paul ended up on the block, she would vote him off secretly. I think she would.
Yeah.
I think so.
But like the
The
whole
only-
house would need to like agree that yeah, Paul needs to go, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and I don't even see her the one starting that conversation. Maybe starting it with like Meatball, but that's about it.
Going into Meatball's HOH, did you want to cover that now, or did you want
Yeah,
to?
sure.
Yeah. So we go into this week with Meatball, aka Josh, as the new head of household. Cody and Jessica, they were like, whatever, something. It was the worst case scenario for them, but going into it, Mark.
Anybody but them is the worst case scenario.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, or Elena and Mark.
Well, as we go into Josh's scenario as the new HOH, he's plotting and targeting, whoever he can, because he obviously, I think it kind of shifted other ways, and he kind of wanted to, I think he was having suspicions about Elena because Elena came up to him last night and said, "So, are you planning to put me on the block?" And he goes, "I don't know, we have to talk." And that really raised his suspicions, and,
Well, I think Elena, you need to, when someone says we need to talk and they don't say like yes or no to you right away, something's up.
Yeah.
Elena and Mark were only the few people who actually voted to keep Ramses over Josh, and Josh knows about that. He doesn't like that because Josh he doesn't know how people work and he doesn't know how games work, and he's like stop. So he's mad about that. That's like literally the only reason he wants Elena out. There's no other reason.
Right.
Like you could go with the house and get Jess or Cody out, but like no, she pissed you off. That's why you want her out.
you think
And
that's
honestly, that's a stupid move. She's not coming after you, dude. Nobody is coming after Josh because he's fucking stupid, and they all want a giant meat shield in front of them to like just drag along, and until they don't need him anymore, then they're gonna cut him off.
Right. So, who do you think his potential target should be? If it was a stupid move to go after Elena, who would be the right move?
The right move is to go after
Mark.
not Cody. You can keep Cody in this house.
Yeah, Mark.
The smart move would be to get rid of Jess.
Oh, but I thought you liked Jessica. You just
I
said.
love Jessica, but like I'm thinking like in terms of if I was Josh, and I would kill myself first. But if I didn't do that, I would want to go after Jess because Cody is a strong competitor, yeah, but like everybody's gunning for Cody. I don't need to,
Yeah.
but to get out
Right.
Jess, I think she's the stronger of the two. And she is
I
actively...
think she's the more dangerous of the two. I wouldn't say the stronger, because I think Cody's the better competitor.
He's a better competitor, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a strong competitor. And when I mean by competitor, I don't mean just like in the challenges. I mean like social game wise, challenge wise, and like
I was gonna say because
strategy wise.
So it's Cody. I mean, Cody's got no social game whatsoever.
No.
So
Jess, despite fights that Jess might get in, she always amends them, and she's smart. She knows, she has a grasp on how people work, and she's good at reading people. So I think if you had Cody or Jess in the end, Jess is going to win. And I would say you could worry about Cody after you get rid of Jess.
yeah,
Right.
Yep.
If they didn't make it further in this game and didn't go as being the winner of Big Brother, it would be nice to at least see them get something like, say, America's Favorite Player or something.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, they've been doing that since I've been watching the show. I mean, if they can't make it to the end and win the whole thing, then I'd say we vote them to either be America's Favorite Player or something else. We could have.
Well, I vote for Jess for that category, and I think people are liking. I talked to some people who do watch the show, and like some people online, they are liking Jess. And now that the house guests when they knew about the halting hex, they were kind of skeptical about it. But now it's confirmed that she did have it, and that it's a temptation that was given to her, that was voted, to be given to her by America. So now the house guests know, and it must feel good for Jessica that she knows that America wants you to succeed.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
If Paul didn't win it the first week, and Paul only won it the first week because he had his fan base from last year, if Paul didn't win it, he wouldn't have gotten any temptations.
No, he wouldn't have. And now going into nominations, as we know, Josh locked in 2 nominees and their faces appeared on the memory wall. He nominated Mark and Elena for eviction. Elena, no surprise to her because she threw a fit in the HOH room towards Josh, and now it made Josh even more suspicious, and now he wanted to put her up. So after that, then it came down to the temptation competition as to why we see a zombie from the Big Brother house who has escaped and is here right now. Welcome, zombie.
Yeah, what was it like being in the house?
What's it like being in the house?
It smells.
It smells.
It's gross.
It smells gross. Oh, like Jeff and Jordan said from season 16 when the house smelled gross.
And it's not that impressive, actually. Like there's no ceiling, and like everything's like half made. Like it's really uncomfortable. It's not an ideal place you want to live. And like there's fucking gluten-free shit everywhere. It's chicken skin.
Ugh. And how did
you
it feel?
You had Raven and her annoying ass, and you had Josh banging the fucking pans, and he damaged the skillet, so I couldn't even make soup. Y'all notice when he bangs the pans, you look at the pans, they're fucking messed up.
Oh yeah.
We have to cook with these, dude.
Yeah, and they bend the shit out of them. Unless it was a prop given by production.
I don't think that ain't no problem.
Production may have replaced them after.
Well, they better.
Well, they should. I mean, after all.
Damage the non-stick coating or whatever fancy shit they have these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You get that shit flying around in your food. That's not good for you. So, it was a timing
pancakes.
Slot pancakes, that's right. But if you notice during that competition, the zombies and the monsters are all trying to frighten the house guests into, challenge their timing and their endurance in finding that spooky heart or that object and put it in that thing to lock it in and in that box, and if the bell rang. And so when the timing results, Big Brother tallied up the votes, and in that tallying, it came down to Cody versus Mark being in the lead. And with the final timing, congratulations, Cody, you are safe for the week. And I have to say, Cody did a very good job. He didn't let nothing bother him. He's like, whatever.
Well, no, because Cody is kind of a badass, but kind of scary. He's like the scariest thing in the house, but
he's not. I look at Cody. He's not a man who doesn't fear. After all, he was a Marine. He doesn't fear nothing. Nothing can fear him.
No, and but this was fun. This was a fun challenge. I like stuff like this, where like the competition in the house, and there are people in the house, and this must be like kind of weird for the house guests. Like, oh, people, like I'm so used to seeing these damn ugly faces every day in this house. Like, hi.
Now, do you guys think that?
Did you guys know it?
I was gonna say, do you think that Jess actually didn't participate in the competition?
She had to have thrown that thing. Like,
Well,
really,
she was
she timed
throwing it,
out.
but do they make her finish the competition anyway?
You don't. There's a certain amount of time that you have to complete the challenge, and if you go past that time, you need to stop and get out, and the next person has to come in. So like, they don't make you complete it, because if you run out of time, there's no point. You lost.
Because she did get 15 minutes flat. It was an even 15 minutes.
Which is probably how much time you had before they kicked you out.
Right. So I wonder if she just sat there near the buzzer for 15 minutes screaming.
She probably did, because like it's not that hard. It's like 5 letters you need, and there's like 2 rooms that you really needed to look in.
And I was cringing when she was having a hard time going into the house, and you obviously know why. You've seen the episode. Don't repeat it.
Poop?
Yes, she said, I'm going to poop my pants. I'm literally going to poop my pants. This is scary as hell.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest. I probably would have rocked this competition the same way Cody did, but I probably would have had a flinch reaction at the guy with the tarp. The plastic wrap that he was waving. I probably, because if it's pitch black and you have a little like miner's helmet kind of like dome light on your head, you don't have a lot of view, and that that's gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you should. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, open up the Big Brother house during Halloween and like do this shit for people to walk through, because that would be amazing.
Well, I go through Halloween walkthrough things all the time, like.
And at Universal Studios Florida, they have that in Hollywood.
Yeah. I go to one at Lake Compounce almost every year. I'm not gonna go to the one in Lake Compounce this year. I'm gonna go to one in Wallingford, Connecticut here. It's called the Trail of Terror, and
I'll go.
And yeah, the guy runs around with a chainsaw, and yeah, it's great.
Right.
People poop
Why didn't
their
they
pants.
do that? Why didn't somebody have a chainsaw in this house? Well, I know why, because of the theming, but like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in other words.
Well, we should do that for next time, Big Brother, because like you can't use the actual names of of this popular show, but you can sure like change a couple of letters in it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I could tell that both of you love Halloween, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, too. Sometimes I like to dress up. I like to dress up and have fun,
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember in 16 where they had the ghosts in the windows?
Yes.
I want them to do that again. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Everybody was hiding and screaming, and I thought James was the scary guy in the Big Brother house playing pranks on everybody.
Well, James was more annoying than he was scary.
Yeah, good point. But, so, boys, I want you to name me who came in last, the very last place, to be the third special nominee.
Jessica.
Well.
It was naturally Jessica. So now Jessica's up on the block, but do you think she has to worry?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, because...
Well, yes,
no.
but no. You always have to worry when you're on the block, but like, she's not the target.
Elena is Josh's potential target, so Jessica really doesn't...
But that doesn't mean anything. Just because Josh wants Elena out doesn't mean that's going to happen. Just because he put her on the block. Jessica's on the block. The rest of the house is what their vote matters, not Josh's vote. Josh doesn't get to vote.
This is my thinking. There's still the veto.
Yeah,
like this week ain't over.
Of course.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if Jess and Elena are on the block and Josh is like, I want Elena out, but the house votes for Jess out, it's not going to matter what Josh wants.
No, nobody's going to listen to Josh, in other words, because like you said, everybody is listening to Paul. Paul is puppeteering all of these house guests, minus Jody.
Yep.
Which is why I think it was kind of a bad idea for Jess to even do the temptation competition. This was their plan, but I don't know. This was her plan to throw it. which I think was a stupid move.
But even though she really didn't know what she was getting into, because they don't tell you what the competition is.
It wasn't that bad of a plan, actually, because you have if she didn't throw it, it would have been her and Cody on the block again.
Right, and she wanted to avoid
with
that.
her throwing it. He had to put 2 other people on the block, as well as Jess, because he couldn't pick Jess because she's already on the block. And that runs the chance for them to get backdoored. This way, Jess is already on the block. It's going to throw her in for veto, right? And now that both her and Cody are not on the block, one of them can come off with the veto. So it was smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, neither of them would have been put into the veto competition if they got held off the block, for example. And then they could have been backdoored.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's understandable and strategically wise, I believe. Is there anything else we have to cover, or have we got everything covered in for week 6?
That's all the major stuff. Just little things here and there that are of notice, like fucking, I don't know what happened. Someone injected the house guest with heroin, and then they put anthrax in the donut because you had people barking, people singing, public domain songs, and out in the backyard. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Mm.
When did this happen? On the live feeds or when nobody was looking?
No, this was when okay, so Jess and Cody were just talking in the Apple room, and then Paul being a little bitch, and when Paul says he's acting mature and like an adult, like, no, you're not, because you are telling Josh, it's like, hey, go bang your pots and pans in their room. And then he just won't leave it the fuck alone. They're leaving you alone, Paul. They're in the room minding their own business, but no, you won't let it go. And then on top of that, Paul's in the wrong for that. On top of that, you got fucking Josh, who's been banging these pots and pans for the past couple of weeks. Damaging the pot, so shame on you for that. But also, it's it makes you look fucking stupid, and I think you have a problem. I think you have a disorder, and it is. I think you need help, and honestly, I think the best help for you is to put you down. And then you had Raven going in, and then you also had, who was it? It was Raven and Alex, who were yelling at Jess because something about fucking cat ears, and what the fuck is this shit? Who the fuck cares about fucking cat ears?
Ariana Grande cat ears.
Yeah, it was gross. You're disgusting. You is bitter. You is disgusting, and you was gonna lose this season.
Right, but here's another thing too. Did you notice that when Josh opened the Apple room where Cody and Jessica were hiding away, he goes, "Hello, my friends. It's time for the circus." Jessica was kind of smiling. Jessica was smiling and throwing little apple peels.
Because it's fucking ridiculous, and she's like, "You're fucking stupid. I can't help but laugh at you."
But she was getting playful. If you didn't notice.
No, she just wanted him gone, and she's like, have you ever seen a bad comedian?
Yeah.
And you laughed. You laughed because of the sheer ridiculousness of it. That's what was going on.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of funny because she's like, "Oh, I have nothing to fear from you right now because I'm safe." She's like, "Hey, I'm safe. You can't hurt me."
It's just
it's funny.
Josh has been doing this for so long in the house, and
it's
then and then he stops doing it, and then when he does it again, you kind of have to laugh because it's coming and it's terrible, and and then when it gets done to you directly, it's a whole nother thing. So yeah, it's just she was laughing out of I don't know, just get away from me kind of laughter, yeah.
Yeah. Well, something, if somebody else were to win HOH next week, or if it's Cody that wins the next HOH, I think he should give Josh a taste of his own medicine, in my opinion.
Cody won't do that.
No.
Well, I think it would be a good idea just to give him a taste of it.
I don't think it's a good idea because you're just basically what I just named the problem about Josh is what's going to happen to Cody if he does do that. Mm-hmm. And Cody isn't that type of person to do that. And honestly, it makes you look ridiculous, and then it makes people look at you in a bad way. Just like what Amanda was doing, like back in 15 with Alyssa and that whole
Alyssa.
thing. But what wasn't even to the extreme that this is. But it's basically the same thing where people look at you are like, okay, this is like too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Before we wrap this up, I'm going to ask you guys, if the veto does not get used and the nominees remain the same, who do you think the House would vote out? Not who do you want to get voted out, who do you think the House will vote out?
I
Mark.
sadly vote to evict Elena.
I don't know.
I think the
It's
House
just-
would go for Jessica.
I think they would go for Mark because he's not like, I mean, he's associated with Cody, but he's kind of not. But like, I think
Can we just
If-
mention awkward Mark conversation real quick?
which one?
Which one? There's plenty of them.
The one where I forgot her name. The gamer girl.
Oh, Alex.
Alex. The one where Alex is like, did you guys see the look on Mark's face? He was so, and then Mark's sitting right there.
Yeah. So can we talk about that, please? So like, she comes running into the room. Like half the house is in
yeah.
one room. Mark is in there. This is after Josh won the HOH.
Jacob.
Yeah, well, this is just after Josh had won the HOH, and like Mark and Elena, they don't like this because like they're on Josh's radar as well, and so half the house is in whatever room they're in. I don't remember right now, but half the house is there, including Josh and Mark, and then Alex runs into the room. So like we're gonna pretend that I had just moved in, and here is Mark right here. Okay. Okay, so Mark is sitting down in front of the door, and then Alex comes into the door. Mark and Elena weren't happy that you won HOH.
Blabbermouth. This house is full of blabbermouths this season. She's a blab.
Somehow she talked her way out of it.
She did, and she came close. It was a nice save, remember?
Mm.
Anyways, as I will close out, I will say this. Get 24/7 live video from inside the Big Brother house with the Big Brother live feeds. Go to cbs.com/bb19 to try all day, all night. Big Brother is always watching.
Mm-hmm. It's a lovely face that Luke froze on. There we go.
Okay, well now that
Okay, Dom, where can the people find you? Sorry about that, Peter.
No problem. You can find me down below, Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
And Jacob, where can the people find you?
you can find me and all of my giggles and gore and monsters and mayhem here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the week, throughout the life at ToNowhereLand. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Awesome. Luke, where can the
You
people
can find me
you?
down below at Twitter at Zupa. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, people. You can find me down below on Twitter at Zupa23. Dom, take it away.
And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Ace, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies.
For now, let's eavesdrop on the house guests. From outside the Big Brother house, I am Luke Labagnera, this is Dom Greco, and Jacob Salazar. We'll see you next week.